And we're live, back with more PodFest Asia, and I'm super glad because I have so many cool guests coming on to my show, and this is probably like over a dozen episodes that we have live tips so far for the Metaverse Asia podcast. So so many cool guests, right? But I think the coolest of the bunch is my next guest. His name is Leon. He does so many cool things in the world of AR and real estate specifically. So. And many more. So I'm going to just bring him on stage very shortly. But I think before that, maybe it's very appropriate to do a short introduction first. So here's a little bit about him. He's the founder of LNG Studios. I think later on we'll ask him. LNG stands for Leon Ng, right? So that's the first question I'll probably ask him. He's a creative media entrepreneur and he's raised in an entrepreneurial environment. He also lives a step ahead of the curve. Under his leadership, his creative visualization agency, LNG Studios, has achieved many industry milestones. First, drone operator in Canada, and the first to bring Matterport, which is the standard for 3D space capture, to Canada. It's no wonder that when the global pandemic hit, Leon saw an opportunity to pivot his business for a good cause, leveraging the architectural 3D printing department to produce over 10,000 face shields for healthcare workers. So without further ado, let's bring on our next guest, the coolest of the bunch, Mr. Leon Ng. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Okay, the video started playing all of a sudden. I don't know why, but anyway, we're back. First question, LNG stands for Leon Ng, right?
That's correct. That's actually my initials, LNG, Leon Ng. That's correct. Yeah. It's the story behind that was like, I had to incorporate a business and I was like, I don't know what name I should do. And the accountant, we'll just put your initials on there. Okay, fine. Maybe I'll change it one day. But it ended up just keeping it. And it's been 15 years now. So
I think it's a really good name, short and easy to remember. And of course, you were telling me before we started this recording, right, that you have a connection with Singapore. And we all know that, I'm based in Singapore in Asia. So how come you were connected to Singapore? In what way?
So I was actually born in Singapore. I never actually had the opportunity to live there, but my grandfather actually lived there. So I was very happy to be born there. Never decided to stay there. I actually grew up most of my childhood in Hong Kong and then moved to San Francisco during my teens and then Vancouver. Studied in the East Coast in Toronto and New York before coming back here in Vancouver. Now that's my headquarters here.
Fantastic. So how many years did you actually spend in Singapore in total?
You know what? It's not years, it's months. I was a baby when I left. But yeah, no, I had the opportunity to go back, but I think I had to join the army or something. My family's like, you know what? No, let's just stay in Canada. Let's move our lives somewhere else. But I had that opportunity though. Yeah.
All right. So have you been back to Singapore ever since?
Yeah, I have actually. Since actually came back last time was when Lee Kuan Yew just passed away. So I did go visit Singapore during that time, and I love the place. Honestly, like if there was a place I want to move back to in Asia, it would be Singapore.
And of course, we all know that Singapore, it's one of the hub, right, when it comes to tech startups, especially in the world of blockchain. So many blockchain companies are set up based right here in Singapore. I think we're just behind Wyoming in the US and Switzerland, in terms of the hub for all these activities that we're attracting so many, all these startups to set up base here. So maybe one day we'll see you probably, extend your business arm to this part of the world again. But of course, today we're not going to be talking about expansion plans. We're going to deep dive into the first hot topic of the day. I'm sure that many, amongst our listeners, right, have seen that video, the incredible video that we have made. And later we're going to screen share that while you maybe walk us through, about this amazing video that I can't stop watching when it went viral, I think, on LinkedIn and everywhere else as well. It's such a promising future that, your concept video, your studios was able to paint for us. And it's great to see also very innovative use cases that was on display on that video. So tell us about this particular video and why you were excited to launch this conceptual video. Is it to show your vision of the future of real estate, AR, and also with the latest announcements of AR glasses in the works do you truly believe that you will have a major impact to the home buying experience in the near future?
Yeah, so maybe we'll take a step back just about my experience here. I actually went to school as a film student. I always wanted to make films. I thought I was going to be a director after I graduate. That didn't pan out because moving back to Vancouver, real estate was such a hot, it's a hot industry in Vancouver. So that's why I started the business in real estate. But I always wanted to go back and create films. And the last film that I created was, or produced and directed, was back in school. So during the pandemic, I had a little bit more time to kind of think about, hey, I want to get back into film. So I decided to direct this conceptual film on the future of real estate AR. Is my interpretation of what the potentials of the AR technologies impact into the real estate space. And my experience here, I've been in 15 years doing real estate marketing, touching on pre-sale and resale markets. So understand our clients, understand the needs in the home shopping experience, not just from the resale perspective, but also on the pre-sale side, going through a presentation center. And just thought when I start seeing all these announcements from Google, Facebook, all these guys saying that, hey, the AR glasses are coming out, I thought, you know what, it would be really cool to create this video just to showcase. And the target audience was really not just for the VR AR audience, it's really for the common people. A lot of people just don't understand the impact of this technology for our industry, especially agents and developers. Real estate in general is a very backwards and very slow to transform industry. So I thought the timing of this was perfect, and really we want to touch on the general audience, and that's how it was created. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. And of course, we want to screen share that shortly. But tell us, there are also many who say that it's a beautiful demo. And there are, of course, for this sort of technology, or just like, blockchain or NFTs, like I was having a discussion with some musicians on Facebook recently where they don't really care about NFTs, even though, it's definitely here to stay and it's going to be everywhere, right? And they think that, they're not bothered with NFTs because if their music were never able to bring any sort of revenue for them when they stream it on, new tech like Spotify or Apple Music, why should they even be bothered with NFTs? So, maybe this is a question that we want to ask you, like, how about the naysayers who think that, this sort of technology, they're not sold on it, or people want, an interface which is not like that. And, even for people who are working extensively with AR, perhaps during the first round when I think Google Glass came out, right? They say that the tech, it's probably has come, maybe made some progress, but it's not gonna be, that sort of world that you painted the concept video. What do you have to say to naysayers who think that the future has not arrived yet?
I would say that what you see in that video, 70% of it can be already done on a mobile app. And in fact, we actually have clients that we have actually doing this. So a lot of the things that you see there, we're already doing. Certain scenes, like I'm sure you're gonna play a video later, but the Olivia is the character showcasing the floor plan on her countertop. That's already been done. We've done that maybe 4 years ago. Or being able to visualize a building on an empty lot before it's built. We have active projects doing that already. Glasses is just another extension of the mobile phone, but through the mobile phones, iPads and whatnot, we're already doing this. The VR experience that you see it's also been done. We're creating real estate metaverses for presentation centers. For developers are very forward thinking, being able to create a virtual presentation center, almost like a construct where you can have all your developments into this virtual presentation center and be able to dive into the unit as if you're actually already there. So yeah, in 2 seconds here, she goes into the VR mode, so to speak, right here. So this is an experience that has already been out there. We've launched this campaign around 5-6 years ago with a massive community build developer called Concord Pacific, and we gave away 10,000 headsets to multiple agents around the world, and users able to pop in their phone and visualize this their property at the comfort of their own homes. So there is a huge use case in terms of VR for final marketing purpose. not just that, just even for the design part of it. If an architect or a real estate developer wants to build something and not want to build it and decide that, you know what, this wall should be taken off, you can do that all in VR, make as many mistakes as you want in VR, so that you'd be able to collaborate with multiple users from around the world, being able to see each other within the same space. So that's already been done. Another use case is our client Lululemon, we had a project with them to make a design store app in VR. So their CEO was able to put the headset on and working with their designer from London, be able to see each other and be able to make annotations and changes in real time through a VR application for their future store designs. So yeah, we're really excited about this. Oh, right here, here, what you see here, the hologram there. So I'm not sure you guys seen Microsoft holoportation demos, but holograms exist. Like they can happen. So that was just a quick sort of representation there. Imagine an agent was able to be at an open house without actually being there. So that's sort of showing. I think it relates really well with the pandemic. Is during the first 6 weeks of the pandemic, all the open houses were closed in Vancouver. We weren't allowed to have open houses. And so we were actually the first company to bring Matterport to Canada. And that product that service hit tipping point. We had 600 scans in the first 6 weeks in Vancouver. And so that shows that the pandemic has really escalated and sped up the digital transformation of our industry, especially for the real estate industry, just because real estate, like I said earlier, is traditionally a very slow industry to evolve. And we're really excited to be in this space right now because everything is changing and more people are more open to it. So, yeah.
Watching that clip again, because I remember when it first came out probably a month ago, was watching it like 100 times. So I got sick of it. But now when I watch it, I'm like, oh, I want to replay that again. It's exciting. But for those who are already spending their hours of time, right, each day with their, in the virtual world, wearing their VR helmets or VR headsets, these are already reality and commonplace. Like it's the things that we're so used to already seeing in the virtual world. Yeah, it's just that in the AR, perhaps it's something that we still can't really imagine because the technology hasn't gone to the extent where the glasses are so thin enough to fit processors and even battery and processors that's able to actually create all these virtual escapes that helps to make things pop and have all these realization or all these concepts that you have provided in your use cases. So I remember, yesterday I was listening to a podcast. I think it was probably Casey Newton's podcast where he interviewed Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. So he was quoted as saying this following line, like working in a VR helmet all day long. There's clearly an evolution or multiple in the tech that will need to happen before this is the main way that people work. But I think we're going to be there by the end of this decade. So he's definitely very bullish in terms of the hardware, the technology side of things, that this is going to be so commonplace where it's going to be, a device that we'll be wearing, daily, just like we carry our phones around, right? We'll be carrying our AR glasses, everywhere we go as well. So how bullish are you with this statement by Mark Zuckerberg as well?
Yeah, I am quite bullish as well. Just talking about Facebook, Oculus Quest 2, I'm sure a lot of people have. And during the pandemic, those were sold out. And just seeing, like, I had my first Oculus, the first generation of it. This is only maybe 4 or 5 years ago. To what you see now is a huge progression there, like the inside-out tracking, not having to tether to a heavy computer. That was like, it hit tipping point for me when Oculus Quest 2 came out, because we actually finally had clients that actually would be interested in doing it instead of having a big machine that's tethered to it. So at this pace of exponential growth, I do see that there is a good chance that that could happen, yes.
Fantastic. And I think we are aligned on that, bullish sentiments as well. I just think that, when you could already enjoy this immersive experience, right? with the VR headsets that we are already so used to navigate now. Definitely, we want something even more advanced. Yeah, and I think Apple is also joining that race, right? So definitely, when Apple has they're going to build something, it's going to be high quality and perhaps be the game changer, like how the iPhone was a game changer when it came out. So probably want to maybe talk a little bit more about that particular podcast that I heard yesterday. He also mentioned, that it's all about the interoperability and the openness of the metaverse. This being a show about the metaverse, right? I definitely want to pick your brains on your views and thoughts on that as well. Do you think that with Facebook and even the like of Epic Games, right, when they're always speaking, so loudly about having openness and interoperability, do you think that this is going to happen? And do you find it interesting to actually hear that they have all aligned values and vision, but how they will actually make this happen is still a huge question mark, right? Like looking at the maybe track record of Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook is all about walled garden and closed social graphs. Maybe we could believe Epic Games team Sweeney more because his track record is better. Like Fortnite, I think is the first game to get Microsoft and Sony on board with cross-platform, and also even pushing the likes of Apple to opening up. So how bullish are you on that aspect as well?
Yeah, I would say I'm a huge Fortnite fan, by the way. I play with my son all the time. But I do see, in my view, what the metaverse means to me. I think that in the near future, there's going to be lots of different types of metaverse. It's not going to be this one consolidated metaverse. I don't think we figured that out yet. But in my perspective, for real estate, for example, we are already creating our real estate metaverse. And we have a client, actually the city of Vancouver. We're creating a digital twin of entire Vancouver right now so that they can do shadow studies and view cone studies for the future developments. But we're already in talks on creating more than that. It's not just real estate that could do this, but what about for hydro, for emergency response and all this stuff? So we are actually slowly building on top of the existing data that we have for the city. And every single developer right now, this is the plan, that they will have to go through this real estate Vancouver metaverse platform to be able to submit their building plans to us. We input it in this metaverse, and then users are able to, the decision makers will be able to experience it as if you're actually there to decide whether this project would be a go or no go. So that going back to your metaverse questions, I think there's going to be multiple metaverses. They're all going to serve a different purpose, and it's going to take some time for it to consolidate into one that everybody can sort of interact with, kind of like what you see in Ready Player One and whatnot. So that's sort of my view on that.
Very well said. And maybe let's move back to that video that we just screen shared, right? How about for those who actually maybe after watching that video would think that the possibilities are great. It looks really beautiful. But, in terms of like the actual needs of customers, like I'm talking about maybe like real estate buyers and sellers, right? It's all about trying to solve their problems. And for example, Yelp has this monocle, I think a monocle or something like that, which is a feature that's very similar to what you've shown in your app, right? It reveals like star ratings of restaurants in your field of view, yeah. So, but no one actually use it. So, is it gonna be too awkward compared to like a nice clean list of properties, for sale near me, or restaurants with over 4-star reviews, and how we're used to like just finding out, search page results right on our phone. Do you think that this is actually not a good argument in terms of like naysayers panning a concept video like that?
Yeah, I really like that example, because that scene right there where she was outside looking at the video, looking at the buildings, being able to visualize what properties are available for rent. You can do filtering and prices and whatnot. I thought that was the most powerful scene in that entire video. That's because real estate is about location. It's about location, what unit you have, what view do you have, which side you're facing. I think it's so important in real estate. I think the fact that the Yelp product failed is because I personally would not use it, just because you can probably do the same thing just doing a list view or map view. I don't really need to be need to know exactly is around that corner. I think it's a little bit different. Real estate is the biggest investment that someone's going to make in their life. I think for location for your own home, it's very, very important to know exactly where that unit is in relations to your surrounding. Much more important than where that restaurant is. It doesn't really matter if the restaurant's in the ground floor or top floor. You just want to eat the food. So in my view, there's two things why the Yelp, there's other features in the Yelp app that's much better than the actual AR piece. And two is the glasses are not ready yet, and you still have to pick up your phone and actually use it. But if it's in a Facebook or Apple glasses, you won't be able to. You don't need to take your phone out. It might be just a very simple thing. You just look at something and the information pops up. So I don't think the Yelp thing is I think the device that was used, the platform, the medium was the issue. It's not really the concept. So going back to the idea of my favorite scene in that building where you can visualize stuff, technically we could build something like that. I have not seen anything like this, and so some of the listeners might be like, wow, we should probably build something like this. But it is, I believe, the most powerful scene. Shopping real estate is all about locations, about where you want to buy. And imagine you're walking down the neighborhood that you want to live in, just looking at it, being able to know exactly unit that you're gonna get. So yeah.
I think this is just an extension of the capabilities of your team, right? Because I understand that you recently launched a new service where you basically have this latest evolution in virtual tours for pre-built spaces, right? So maybe you could tell us more about that, especially whether you're intending to bring that technology to this part of the world in Singapore or Asia as well in the future.
Yeah, so that experience is called LuxNav. It's an evolution of traditional rendered virtual tours. So in the pre-sale market, if you want to do a virtual tour, you have to render as seen by different hotspots. You kind of jump around from the living room to the kitchen to the bathroom. And it's really wonky, and sometimes users might lose themselves. So LuxNav is actually based off of the Matterport experience. Matterport experience, you can walk around as if you're actually there. The transition between spots are so seamless. So LuxNav does provide that, and you can also do measurements similar to Matterport. You can sort of zoom out and see a 3D floor plan in real time, and it works across all platforms. So it's the next step in evolution of virtual tours for home buying.
And I think it's appropriate to maybe share this video as well. So hopefully, get off the volume and just appreciate, some of the videos that your team created. I think your team are really great at creating videos like this. It looks amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, we have a dozen projects that are already committed to this, and that's the 3D floor plan scene that you saw there. Yeah, so we're really, really excited about that. Yeah, thanks for showing that.
Fantastic. And of course, we want to also talk about how you're using creativity, using all this technology, which is now widely available. And of course, just basically putting brains together, and you're able to create something even, bigger than the sum of your parts, right? So we're talking about, how you're able to actually raise awareness on mental healthness recently with probably this project that you did. I was very excited when I discovered that you were encouraging people to actually donate their pixels. So tell us about this entire project, and like this incorporation of art and awareness as well. So while you talk about this particular pixel moments project that your team is involved in, I'm going to also screen share that. So yeah, take it away.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, so do you guys, if you remember $1 Million Pixel, have you remembered this concept? This kid basically sold individual pixels and got sponsors. They sold it $1 per pixel and raised $1 million in a very short period of time. So that concept was done in the late 90s, okay? So I kind of took that concept and thought, hey, why don't we do something like that for philanthropy, but do it in a way where it's for 2020. So the concept is a user, anybody, will be able to take a photo or selfie of themselves, upload it to a platform. It becomes a pixel to form a larger mural And we're just asking for a minimum of $5 per pixel. So we're able to raise 300,000 from just this campaign. And there's an AR component to it. We work with a local artist that has a huge connection to mental health. And basically, when you go up to it using web AR, you can point the phone towards it, and the art piece will come to life. So that was very impressive for the foundation that we were working with. So all the donation went to St. Paul's Hospital in Vancouver for the mental health department. And we are going to do another one next year. The mural was quite big. It was 80 feet wide in the heart of downtown Vancouver. Hopefully you do have a example here, or you can go to pixelmoments.org. There you go. That's the one. So that was the final mural. It was comprised of 10,000 different pixels, and we were able to raise 300,000 for mental health.
This is amazing. It looks massive as well. So, how much time did it take for you to ideate this to execution? Is it like something that you took months to prepare ahead?
It was definitely months to prepare. The idea of doing a mural, a digital mural, probably happened around July of last year during the pandemic, and then we launched April 1st. So finding a location, finding the right artist, and making sure that the animation works well with the technology took quite a long time, but we're very proud of it, and we are going to do another year next year.
I was just talking to a blockchain startup founder, a CEO recently on another episode of this live taping. We were just, commenting on a recent mental health, can we say, a case in Singapore where basically a 16-year-old student, in a school in Singapore, basically went to school with an axe that he ordered online and used that to actually kill another student who's only 13 years old. So that is obviously, a case of another, mental health and some of the issues that students, especially the millennials, right, or should we say the Gen Z these days, they're facing, the same sort of pressure that the adults, are facing as well. So, like the pandemic has really amplified, some of these, mental health issues, and of course, you have actually added creativity and you have incorporated arts together with raising awareness of mental health issues. So this is definitely something that I want to show him, like how, the meshing, technology together with a good message delivery, and of course, combining arts as well. You're able to actually not just raise funds, for a movement, but to raise awareness. I think that's something that we all want to talk about and continue to talk about, right? Like probably videos that you made is not just about the showcasing what are the possible use cases, but to get people talking and just imagine the possibilities as well. Just like what you've done, with your project, the mural project, to raise mental health awareness.
Yes, for sure. So one of our core values is innovation. Innovation for the good is kind of what we want to do. So the pivoting of our 3D printing department to do print face shields for frontline workers totally aligns with that. We were very surprised that it all came really fast. The hospital suddenly, the PPE shortage, we were able to react really fast with 3D printing technology. We were able to actually collaborate with around 300 3D printing enthusiasts from BC to use their own personal 3D printers to print for us. So we gave them the model, the 3D model, and they were able to help us and help us print these materials and for the hospital. So going back to Pixel Moments, that's a really great example as well, using AR technology, using art for giving back. We do have another project that is in the works that's going to be bigger than this. We have a collaboration with a big telco in Canada to digitize the entire Canadian Museum of Human Rights. There's been really big news that came out from Canada during the last few months on the residential schools. They found a lot of bodies of children in Kamloops in BC, and it's just a really horrific incident. And these are things that happened in maybe from 50 or 60 years ago, but still it's such a huge eye opener. And so we're going to create a lot of digitizing all the murals that's been done there, maybe able to visualize what the residential school used to look like through AR and VR technology. So that's another example of innovation for good, being able to sort of give back using our know-how and our technology that we work with.
I think this gives so many startups or people in this space, right? Another, inspiration, like innovation for good. Perhaps that could be something that would set them apart from, so many look-alike startups these days who are doing probably, the same things in NFTs or blockchain or AR, VR, XR. Yeah. So you have actually, brought this blueprint, I think, to our listeners, who are actually in this space. I think they will probably get inspired by some of the things that you have shared with us. I think, you're not just a real estate industry, AR company, you're more than that. So I'm just amazed, by the creativity that your team, is able to bring on to the table. So unfortunately, we only have like a couple more minutes with you. I promise this is only going to be a short 30-minute one-to-one conversation. So before we let you go, we definitely want to do a speed round so I could squeeze in as many questions as possible for the last minute. So the rules are pretty simple. Just keep your answers really short and pithy and give me maybe just maximum 1 or 2 sentences. Yeah. So are you ready?
Sure. Let's do it.
Let's go. What are your proudest life moments?
You know what? One of my proudest life moments was Pixel Moments. It's probably the biggest and most meaningful campaign I've done.
What do you want doing less of in 2021?
Sitting. I want to start standing and start exercising. Yeah.
What do you want doing more of in 2021?
I want to see people. I want to definitely have more conversation with people, get out there and socialize.
What would you like or what would you want written or carved on your tombstone?
Oh, wow. Wow, this is a big one. Yeah.
I know this is difficult. Yeah. Come again?
Let's take a pass on this one because this one is a really deep one to think about. No.
Yes, I can probably bring up the same question next time when we invite you back onto the show.
Like let me think about that for next time.
Your advice for people in this space.
Yeah, so definitely always stay tuned on what's out there and never rest on your past success. Yeah, you're only as good as your last project. You gotta keep going. Yeah.
And it's great to be always, early and be ahead of the curve, right? And that has to do with really being able to listen to the latest trends, yeah? So very well said. Any future ambitions or side projects in the pipeline?
Yeah, so we are creating this, our first real product called Proxima. So it's a digital presentation center. It's supposed to mimic the presentation center experience. We're really combining the physical and the digital world for a home buying experience, allowing a salesperson to walk someone through an application as if they're actually in a presentation center. So that's something we're really excited about.
I hope that you'll make a really cool concept video about it again.
Yes.
And hopefully premiere it on this show in the future. So I really look forward to your, return to this show in the future, and then maybe answer that question that you did answer earlier.
Yes.
And of course, some of the videos. So thank you so much, my friend. Any last words or final message to our listeners while we're playing this podcast on your AirPods or smart speakers later on?
No, I had a really great experience. Wayne, you're an awesome dude. I hope that we'll be able to chat again soon.
Thank you so much, my friends. And I'll see you in real life, hopefully very soon when air travel is more easy and convenient.
And so I'll come back to my birth town. Yeah, I'll come visit you.
Come back to Singapore. Let's have chicken rice together. So I think that would be an awesome day, and I look forward to that. Please take care of yourself. Take care of everyone over there in Vancouver, yeah?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Cheers. Bye-bye. That's Leon Ng, founder of LNG Studios. You can hit him up at his LinkedIn. I think that's the place where I actually discovered all these cool concept videos his team are making. And of course, he's a good friend of another guest of ours, Dan Berger, who's the president of VR AR Association of Vancouver. So So probably we'll invite more cool people from Canada to come onto the show in the future. So with that, almost 4 a.m., another late night. So I'm going to hit the sack. Please stay tuned for our other exciting guests who are coming on to our network of podcast shows next week. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.